One of the goals of the self-reporting tool was the ability to make reports come to life in a professional format. One of the ways we do this are with some advanced chart types, bar charts, column charts, donut charts, etc. What we'll show today is the bar chart. So I'm going to click on that. The very first thing you see are some titles, backgrounds, borders, score axis, a lot of information that you can use to format a report. So we'll kind of step through these pieces so you can see how it changes with a bar chart. The very first thing I like to do when I look at a chart is add some scores. What do you want? Which scores do you want to be on that bar chart? And we'll take some like total incorrect. We'll add that. We'll add something. Skipped items maybe is something we'd want to know. We'll add another score on this, and we will call it percentage correct maybe, or all correct test, raw score. You can put whatever you want, and I'm going to click finish. It's going to add that bar chart, and it's going to make it kind of plain vanilla, not so exciting. I'm going to add a new row, and I'm going to put this bar chart right here in the middle, and I'm going to drag it up a little bit so we can see this as a focus. So there's our bar chart. Black bars, white text, grids. Maybe this isn't the way we want it, but we've got a basic bar chart put together. I'm going to edit that bar chart and show you how this comes to life. Perhaps we want to add a range for background color, or we want to just add a background of some sort. Maybe we want a left to right gradient that is kind of a, well, we'll make it a little bit lighter, a rose color. So I'm going to go from here, this color, to here at this color, and click finish. You can then see how the background color comes to life. Admittedly, that's not very attractive, but I wanted you to know that those are available as background colors. You can set a border. If you want a dashed border and you want that border to be green, so this is going to look extremely obnoxious, but you can see the border around that is now dashed. It's very small, but you have a dashed green border around that report. You can set 3D on the graph. So 3D is something that got quite popular at one point. Excel used 3D graphs. Some people think it's not so attractive anymore, but you can 3D a graph. We'll leave that on for a second. You can change the labels of the score axis if this is time and this is money or something like that. You can turn off some of the lines that are happening behind the scenes on the X and Y axis. You can see how that changes a little bit. I'll go ahead and take this out of 3D mode and it might look a little more familiar to you. So now we don't have black grid lines, we still have that green border. The scores are showing up and we have it going from a light rose to a dark rose. You can also show a margin if you want. You can not show a margin if you don't want any margin to be seen. So the graph kind of collapsed and all you see are the black lines. Finally, we can set the axis scales. Let's say this goes from 0 to 100 at intervals of 10. Do we want to show the numbers? Let's put no. And then we now have this going from 0 to 100 with no numbers showing, and it's black. Well, let's say that a good complement to this might be a blue colored chart. I'm going to make this a solid line, and I'm going to choose something blue. Remember, you can put any hexadecimal color in that you want. If you know what that is, there's some online resources to find hexadecimal colors. But I'll just paste these in so they're all blue. Maybe I think that looks nice on my rose background. And I'm actually going to alter this now that we've seen it happen. And I'm going to say, you know what? This rose background is kind of obnoxious. I'm going to say none. And I now have a blue chart with a green background, which once again, I'm not thrilled with. So let's just have none. Let's take away that border. Hit finish. So we're now looking at something we're probably a little more used to seeing. You can say you want the score name to show up, or you can say I don't want the score name to show up. You could put a custom word in here. So instead of total incorrect, maybe I just want the word incorrect on my chart. Maybe I like skipped items, maybe I don't. I'll just type the word skipped. And remember, I could always say I don't want anything to show there. So I'll put raw score. So now we've seen the report come a little bit more to life, maybe the way that we want it to look. But I'm not exactly thrilled still with the way this is coming about. I don't want to see grid lines. So now those background or gray grid lines are not showing up. And now it looks kind of funny to me. So I do want to add back in my labels, and I'll make them solid and I'll make them black. So you can see how the report just starts to change as you make those little edits. And probably the last thing I show, because I'm probably overkilling this, is I can make this a gradient. So a left or right gradient is kind of popular. So it just, the blue kind of goes to a softer blue or a darker blue in this case. And then I'll just copy this color just so you can see what it looks like. So I'm having something flash from left to right in a blue gradient. So my bar chart gets a little darker. It shows my score. And then you have options on the score as well. So I want to show the score value. I don't want to show the score value. I can even put borders around the score value. I can add colors to the score value. So there's really a lot that you can do inside of this. But those are the basics to a bar chart. And over on the right-hand side, we have options as well. We can change the size of the graph overall. Maybe we want the width to be 2.5 inches. Make it look really small. Maybe we want the height to be 7 inches, so it's this obnoxious looking graph. Or we can just take those options out so they don't show at all. You can have these span rows and columns. And padding is something that's a little bit confusing to people. But if you want there to be a 1-inch space between this row and this row, all you have to set is some top padding, and it'll put that value in, so there's a little bit of blank space. So a lot to consume there on a bar chart, but we give you a lot of flexibility so you can make this look like you want it to look. And as I said at the beginning, add some professionalism to your report.